It's really important that we have strong, dedicated men in this movement, and so I would like to welcome Mr. Dylan McDermott.
Thank you, Lindsay. What a beautiful day. You know, my mom, Eve Ensler, said that she wanted to have a billion people rise a couple of years ago, and I didn't believe her. I didn't think it was possible. And then, of course, she did it. I went to Congo with her, where she created a safe house for women there who were raped and needed a place to go and to heal. I didn't think she could do that. I went to Kenya with her for girls who are suffering from FGM. I didn't think that was possible. So when I think of Eve, anything is possible. You know, I have two daughters, and I want them to live in a world where there is no violence. You know, I think it's important for men to rise up and to stop the violence against women. And it starts with us, because unfortunately men are the ones that are inflicting violence against women. So we have to change the consciousness. We have to change the thought patterns. We have to change everything. And it begins here. It begins today. And we're going to make a change, and we're going to end the violence against women. I want to see my daughters live in a world where there is no violence against women. So I want to thank you all. I'm very proud to be here. I'm very proud to represent Eve and all the people in the world and all the men in the world. And I'm working hard to change, and I hope you are too. Thank you so much.
Fonda is no stranger to the movement for justice. Whether it's fighting for peace, whether it's fighting for women, she is always on our side, Miss Jane Fonda.
Thank you all for being here. I was asked just a few minutes ago to say something about why this issue is important to me personally. My mother was a victim of childhood sexual abuse. She killed herself as a result. Every close girlfriend of mine has been incested. I'm not just talking about sexual violence, I'm talking incest. This touches every corner of our life. You've heard from previous speakers that at least 1 billion women in the world have been victims of violence, of sexual violence. 300,000 women are raped and attacked on college campuses. 1 out of 3 women in the military is raped. Over 12 million American women are rape survivors, 639,500 every year. Today's Valentine's Day, right? And just like we did last year, 1 billion women and men who love them are rising, dancing. You know, we have to get out of our heads. Being in our heads hasn't worked over the millennia. We have to get into our bodies. As Lindsay said, we have to envision with our souls and our hearts what a world free of violence and justice would look like. It's so interesting that this year we're expanding beyond just sexual violence against women to include other forms of violence, corporate violence, when corporations don't respect their workers, don't pay them living wages, for example. Violence of companies that dump toxic wastes in poor communities, causing epidemic of cancer. The risings, as you've already heard, are happening. It's just mind-boggling all over the world. In courtrooms, in parliaments, in prisons, in farms. I just want to tell you one story. A man named Jason Day, he's Peruvian, organized Peruvian football players on both teams to wear our 1 billion rising t-shirts on the field at Peru's Super Bowl, at the Super Bowl. And he got construction workers throughout the city of Lima to dedicate their construction sites to be free of sexual harassment and violence. So I want to thank you for coming today, for committing your lives to justice and the freedom from violence. not just today, because it can't just be today, it has to be throughout the year. Let's stop being bystanders and start being upstanders and standing up for victims and survivors, exposing violators and perpetrators, including the corporations who inflict injustice and economic violence on the employers. We have to be whistleblowers. We have to expose them. And let's believe the children who say that they have been abused. Because 98% of the time, they're telling the truth. We have to believe them, because if we believe the children who are brave enough to speak out, the damage that the terrorism has done to them will be greatly minimized. I just want to leave you with that, and I won't name names, okay?